thank you very much, Leaf. Less so for making me think that my own internet had just gone and making me absolutely panic. We're here to continue in the semi-finals, the upper semi-finals, so this should be extraordinary. Johnny, two teams that we probably didn't expect to be here, but one of them could be guaranteed top 3.
It's a crazy day for Williams Resolve. This is a huge opportunity. And I think, you know, Gregan's definitely, he's got good points, but about both teams. But I think
Gregan gets 0, even if he's right now, he gets 0
me.
kudos for backing down the way he did.
Absolutely agree with you there.
He could have had totally a phenomenal prediction if this ends up going Williams Resolve's way. And I don't want to give him anything for it now.
No, you should have doubled down. I think we can all agree there, but I'm gonna lean towards Queso as well. I really am a strong believer in this team. I think the fact that they've topped a group that contains Dignitas is not actually that big of an upset. These guys are really just that good.
Right, well, Saturday since we've got started in winter have been almost speed runs with the amount of sweeps that we've had between Europe and North America. We're going to get another one here, or both these teams can be able to take the fight to each other. Joyo, they just try and put some pressure on. That is a large commitment, actually, from Joyo for very little gain. And it's those sort of recoveries, Johnny, that you need to be very focused on, because that is a long time he was out of the position, and any sort of better breakaway can be very dangerous now to the rest of his squad.
Yeah, that's something that all of the top teams, including Queso, you know, Williams Resolve are going to be doing it as well, although to a lesser extent. It's that constant pressure through fast recoveries. You're seeing, you know, just a triple threat team here. Joyo, Rise, Vatira can all make huge plays, but it's not just about making a big play. It's about making a big play and getting back into the rotation. That's what they're doing here. They're trying to keep the pressure on their opponents. Williams Resolve absorbing it right now. They'll want to break free at some point. They've, you know, left lingering Redostans in the midfield a couple of times so far, trying to get those knock-ons for clears. This time it's Sizen. First touch goes astray.
Yeah, Redostan coming back to the field, spent all of yesterday calling himself Radio Sin. Definitely was weird to see that one, but good to see that he's refound his own name. Now can he find his form as Sizen looks to try and set up for the rest of the squad. Vatira pretty much the player to look out for on Team Queso, according to the desk. Might be called into action. Too low boost and also being chased down by Prime means they can't get anything going. And now he's been bumped away. Vatira just getting bullied.
Yeah, he's up against 3 of his own countrymen here. They'll know exactly what to expect from Vatira. Brought his first touch, that is, by Joyo now. He's going to go for the bump onto Prime. Sizen is there for the cover on his teammate on that play. It's just constant. The pressure out of Team Queso. They are not letting Williams Resolve escape their half, except for, you know, little glimpses here and there. But that being said, Williams Resolve keeping a good number on their boost total, and they are absorbing this pressure, and they have been for the almost 3 minutes of the game that we've had so far.
Well, when we did get to do commentary for them for yesterday's matches, the only goals that they seem to be conceding were fantastic ones. And that was almost a fantastic way to put the team up by 1. Williams Resolve's defense cannot be questioned. It is a constant for them, and they will not really break down for anything less than a complete outplay. They do not make those sorts of mistakes. Redostan just trying to set himself up. Has he got the reset? Of course he does. Actually puts the ball lower than Rise, which makes life awkward. Don't really want to be attacking that ball when you're above it on the wall. Redostan, good challenge. He goes for a teammate bump. Gets rid of the goalkeeper. And there is the first goal against the run of play, which has been swinging back towards Williams.
Vatira trying to make the save, but his fellow Frenchman sizing him up and sending him into the net. The ball swiftly follows. 1-0 Williams Resolve. What a play by Sizen. He didn't have a lot of push. Just turned around, realized that the threat was incoming, knew what he had to do. They've really turned this one around after being on the back foot for most of the game.
Back to Vatira. He does set himself up for the air dribble. Redostan looks to take him on, and he's lost that challenge. Vatira makes it 1 each.
What a play by Vatira. Little bit of spice on that. He even managed to drop the ball with the reset. That's crazy, because he gets the reset on the ball, but not only that, he slows it down and manages to force Redostan over the top of it. That's what you get when Team Queso are on the field. They are a constant threat. They've got big plays coming at all 3 of their players. I just think that, for me, is the difference between these two teams. They're so unpredictable.
Oh, Williams Resolve, as I previously mentioned, you're only getting past them if you pull something very special off, and that was certainly a goal that would adhere to those qualifications. Redosin. Just not great play out, though. They need to figure this out a little bit more. Back to Prime. Going to be challenged very quickly by Rise. Actually, he's gone over the top of him. Goyo easily able to take control. He's actually managed to follow up as well. Out of boost. Won't be able to get any more on this play. But 30 seconds left. And both of these teams showing off where their strengths lie. Now going to be up to who can take this next goal and put themselves in the driver's seat for the rest of the series. Tira. I just love that we have players just around there now, because as a defender, you've got to look out for them. Now you've got to look out for Rise. If he could just have got down a little bit quicker, would have been a real menace.
Late chance in the game, though, for Williams Resolve. Still, Sizen's up for it, but Joyo beats him to it. He's not going to get back to this before Prime does, though, and overtime will decide the first game. There have been big saves on both sides of the field, big plays to put goals into the nets on either side. Very close game to start the series.
Reminder yet again, both these teams, you are just joining us in the upper side of the bracket. Winner of this will be in that upper finals. Chance to enter the grand finals. Rise with plays like that could be sending Queso into that spot.
Well, the positioning from Rise is what makes it possible here. He's at the far post, his teammate sees him, and there's no way that Williams Resolve can cut him off on his way to the backboard. You see that he's threatening the shot, so they both expect him to go low with that finishing touch. Rise putting it straight into the net with the double. Taking the first game for Team Queso. They're just a real problem, Shogun. This team is such a threat. All three of their players can make these big plays. And they're just getting more and more consistent. Every time I watch them play, I really like the trajectory that they're on. Even that being said, though, Williams Resolve resilient in this game and really made Team Queso work for this.
Yeah, Williams Resolve definitely started to flourish a little bit more in the middle part of the game. But what I really love from Queso is I believe there are much more mechanical players out there, much more mechanical teams out there. But what Queso do so well is vary their offense. We saw that last shot right there where they made Williams Resolve guess, is this on target? Are we going backboard? We've seen so many teams that have got very high mechanics keep going for the same option. How many times do we turn around and just go, stop going for the, mate, it's been red. Stop going for the infield. Yeah. These guys are always changing up what their options are and hiding it and disguising it until the last moment, where Williams Resolve, half the job is just figuring out what the play even is.
That's the advantage of being such a mechanical team. You just have more options available to you. When you can land a reset on any ball, when you can decide to go for a double tap because you see the net's defended, or shoot low because you see the backboard's defended, you just have got the better play available to you more often than you don't. And the recoveries are coming through. The pace to the ball is clearly there today. The touches on the ball are effective. It really looks like it's working today for Team Queso, not just a one day event for them. Williams Resolve need to up the aggression here. They cannot give the space that they're currently giving to Team Queso. They're going to continue to get abused. There's now Joyo looking for the double tap just wide, but that's a warning to Williams Resolve.
Now off the backboard, he's going to have to leave. Up goes Redosin, and no threat on that shot. Team Queso, what a play style that they have brought with them today. Looking like something that they can continue to replicate. Rely on each other, and there's even a double commit that we have come to associate the Team Queso name with over the years. Prime will try and find some way to escape. Redosin on the chase. I love this. Rise's, I just want to keep an eye on Rise's rotations on the way back because it's so non-committal. He's just driving over the small boost pads without really trying to find any pace because he wants to leave himself as a passing option for as long as possible. He believes that his teammate is going to have the next play on the ball.
Yeah, Rise really, he's in the conversation for most improved player, looking between RLCS Season X and the new RLCS 2021-22 season. This guy was a part of many an RLCS X event, but didn't get into many deep runs, had a few top 8s, I believe, but was never really the star of the show. And now he is consistently performing against the very best players in the world. I love, like you mentioned as well, his decision-making. It's not just mechanics. He is filling the blanks, filling the gaps extremely well, because Vatira and Joyo are extremely unpredictable to play against, also pretty unpredictable to play with. But Rise has got a good read on it.
And that's also part of what's helped Rise, though, is the lack of ability Williams Resolve have had to escape as Joyo calling Radosin into action. But because Williams Resolve have had no great ways of counter-attacking and making their own goal-scoring chances, Rise can afford to come back that slowly. He hasn't got to make a panic decision. And that'll be up to Williams Resolve to change that. Sizen, well, he's not going to get an easier shot than this. And he has turned it in.
It's the Sizen physical plays. He got the bump onto the goalkeeper in the first game to open the scoring. Now he's got the demo on the last man in this game to open the scoring. That's one thing that's working extremely well for Williams Resolve. Queso are going to need to keep an eye on where Sizen is, where Williams Resolve players are. That's one of the things that happens when you have such a high defensive line. It's just easier for the opponents to sneak in behind you and come for those demos from the defensive blind spot.
So scary. The moment you lose track of players in this game, they could be anywhere. There are ceilings right behind you trying to get the demo, or just stealing all your boost. Either way, just keeping that mental map of where everybody is so important in modern Rocket League. Rise, not the best first touch from him, but he does guide the ball away from Sizen. And Vatira, not going to get a second block shot. That one always drifting away from him. Now 1 minute 45 on the clock. Williams Resolve almost there, despite yet again having the majority of this game going the other team's way. They're the ones that are making something. They are very much waiting and seeing.
Yeah, they realized that they were just getting dusted a couple times at the end of the last game, so you've got to just calm down when that's happening. Just stop throwing yourself at the ball if you're getting beaten to it as consistently as they were. That's what they've done. They're just being calm, staying in defense for a bit longer, staying in the ground a bit longer, and only really going for these aerial challenges when they know they can get there.
Prime just taps the ball onwards. No real risk to Rise. And with all 3 players back at the moment, it's going to be more space for Queso to work with, but they've got to use it first. Still Radosin looking for backline demos. Forces the play to go that a little bit quicker than Team Queso would like it to be. Rise with the challenge, goes over the top. This is brilliant from Williams Resolve. How much time have they knocked off the clock with nothing threatening coming their way at all?
Yeah, just controlling defense from Radosin, getting the ball past both of the incoming attackers. Still, late chance for Queso. They take it. Vatira rolls it in. And Resolve, despite looking so comfortable for the entire game here, just fell apart. A couple of misses at the near post. Last man gets bumped. Queso have tied it late in the game once again.
Everyone was just so adamant about getting out of the bump, the demo player's way, that they just completely whiffed on trying to play the ball. Team Queso right back into it. 1 each. Radosin wanted to try and make up for it. He's past the goalkeeper. Another one arrives. Here's Prime off the backboard. Also into his own teammate. Might have the infield passing option, though. But Rise is aware of it. He's on the breakaway. Off the backboard. First one to it. It's going to be Joyo. And what a save that is. Vatira, where is he? Comes in a little bit too late. And a last gasp scare. But Williams Resolve have survived it.
Yeah, just no faith there from Team Queso. They should have been playing the whiff there. You've got to gamble with a chance that good late in the game. Looked like they were playing reactionary Rocket League instead of predicting. I am surprised to see that coming out of these guys. They love to make their big reads. Radosin to Prime now. Downfield and on target. What a goal by Williams Resolve. Only 19 seconds into OT. Opportunistic positioning from Prime. First time execution on the shot with maximum power.
And that's why you take the chances when they're given to you. Williams Resolve, 2 good chances on the net, 2 good goals to their name. And they are back into this series. But for Team Queso, you're hitting the point now where this is going to start getting frustrating because Williams Resolve, as you mentioned, Johnny, picking and choosing their battles, and they're winning every single one of them that they are choosing to be a part of.
Yeah, and still, Team Queso had such a good chance to win this in regulation time. Final seconds of the game. Ball's bouncing off the backboard. There is a defender there for Williams Resolve, but I think you just have to, as second man in a play, you have to predict a whiff there. You have to be ready to send that shot into the top shelf, because waiting to see if the whiff has happened, that just slows you down. That just kills any momentum you've got, makes the shot a lot harder, and we did end up seeing a save by Prime to keep Williams Resolve in that game. That's the big moment of the game there for Team Queso, just I think not committing when it was really a good time to commit. But well played by Williams Resolve. Clinical performance once again, finding those off-the-ball bumps for the second game in a row. What a shot as well to win it in OT.
It's one of those play styles where we'd be very worried about it up against the top teams of Europe, but even saying that, Team Queso are on the cusp of that particular bracket of team, and it seems to be doing just fine. Whether or not this sort of playstyle will have much staying power be yet to be seen, or even if this is something that Williams Resolve even want to be doing, or whether or not they have just been stuck in this side of the field. Boost steal, that's about it. Vatira, 0 boost. He just wants to try and feint it out for the time being. Goyo off the ceiling. Sizen back to the midfield. Rice found himself very far forwards, as they can't power the ball back into the other side of the field, but with the position of the players, might have been quite good just to play it laterally instead. Look at how high up this line is. Or at least the first man line from Team Queso. They have got full faith that they do not need all 3 players back at any one time. Just make sure someone's always got pressure on the ball. And so far, Williams Resolve have not cracked under that pressure, but it can happen at any moment.
Well, Team Queso are just not giving easy clears to Williams Resolve. Touches like this, that's never going to go full length of the pitch from Sizen. Team Queso know that, so they're moving forward. They're not giving any space for Williams Resolve to use as they attempt to get the ball out of defense. But Team Queso have got to follow this up with more than just interceptions. Boost steals have not really been coming through as often as I'd like. They're just committing everything to the offensive play instead of settling for a longer period of offense, which is clearly what they're going to get in this matchup if Williams Resolve keeps sitting back like this.
Oh, Radosin pops the ball back up. Joyo had to position just in case he was headhunted by the potential demo. A long time waiting for the half volley. Radosin back over to Prime. Finally, Williams Resolve finding some level of success when it comes to getting rid of the ball. Over to the wall. Well taken over by Sizen. Actually might drop down for a teammate. Where's Rise? There he is. Just a split second too late. Prime able to get the full body of that car behind the ball. But if we talk about consistency, this series has been a very consistent one. Both teams are doing what they want to do, and we're just waiting to see which one breaks down first. Here's Radosin, might have an opportunity, but he's got no support. This is just trying to get some boost out of Rise, steal some, and maybe they can start to set up from here.
Yeah, this is brilliant by Radosin, just compromising Rise's position, forcing him to use all of his boost and then taking the 100 away. I'd love to see Team Queso try and make plays like this, because for all of their offense, they are not really putting Williams Resolve in compromised positions, though, as they almost get themselves in one there. That's a whole lot of time spent in the orange half and only 2 shots, and I don't remember either of them being all that threatening. The chance now, that was maybe the best chance of the game for Team Queso, but even that's this very tight angle shot from close range. It's all about creating realistic chances to score for Team Queso. That is what they're lacking at the moment. For all the pressure they're getting, Williams Resolve look comfortable.
We just need to keep an eye as well on those players that are flying into challenges. The position that Radosin's in right now, even if the ball goes straight past him, and get demos exactly like that, ruining the rotation. And that means that the follow-up is very slow. Vatira coming in. He was probably not the intended target. That was also not the intended target. Rise bullying Joyo off that ball. 0-0. Just over a minute left. Vatira with an opportunity to try and change it. No power on the shot. Not really even on target. Team Queso, again, setting up for plays. But I also seem like it's equally likely that they get caught with another demo counterattack.
Oh, here we go.
What a shot!
Oh!
Kept out these temporarily. Vatira off the crossbar and no follow-up. Williams Resolve have survived again.
It's a dangerous game to try play defense for all this time against Queso. You've got to think at some point one of them's going to make a mechanical play that 1v3s your whole team. But it's not happened in the first 4 minutes of this game. Team Queso, careful to avoid that counter-attack, like you mentioned. But now another interception by Sizen. He's the guy who put his team in front twice in a row in this series. It was demos in the previous games. That was just a break of rotation to intercept to play, and the ball's just gone right through.
Oh, no way.
Nison's there for it. Out of nowhere, Williams Resolve get a goal, but really, Team Queso should have had this under control. What is going on in the defense?
Well, both players had got somewhere covered, but it was nowhere that the ball was. Everyone jumping, goal line goalkeeper, just flat-footed entirely. And Williams Resolve, again, against the run of play, are finding the better chances. We'll take a look very soon at the shots. I'm almost guaranteeing that Team Queso have more of them. But we'll have to look back at how many of them seemed like they were really threatening. That one just floats its way over to Radosin. Vatira looks to try and keep the play alive. Rise with a good challenge. Sizen leads the way temporarily. Prime over to the floor. I don't know how Joe's kept that one up. What a play.
That's unbelievable. Are they really going to be able to keep this up? One more chance, maybe, for Team Queso. What a flick as well from Rise. Vatira's got the double. Doesn't get the contact.
Oh, Rise, you took it from him.
Joyo had it, but Rise decided to try and pop it for him. Not a terrible idea. They are just panicking here on 0 seconds. Oh, that was unreal from Queso to keep it alive for that long and create real shots on target. Probably the best chances they had all game. But why are they waiting until 0 seconds to do that instead of just using the 5 minutes that they had before they got to this impossible position? I mean, good try, but talk about playing the game on hard mode.
Why are you leaving these great chances until you've got no time left? Oh, that was certainly a way for a game to end. Well, Williams Resolve now. Man. Double match point. I'm hoping we get to see this again. Look at that from a shot. I mean, Sizen's not taken any risks with that particular shot right into the far corner and hit about as well as you can possibly hit it. But now for Team Queso. And again, Gregan, I'm going to call you out here. Why did you not stick with it? You were on the verge of a brilliant prediction and you've backed down entirely. But what we have seen from Williams Resolve, no back down from them, mostly because their positioning gives them no room to back down. They'll be out of the map at that point. But their deep play style, waiting for their chances, grabbing the counterattacks, has put them in a spot where they're so close.
There it is.
To that upper bracket finals. But there's the gauntlet thrown down by Joyo.
This is what we're talking about with this team. Joyo, ceiling reset, reads the double tap, easy peasy. Where was this creativity? Where was the flair in the previous game? That's what I'm wondering, because Queso have got it in spades. All three of their players have got ability to do this, but they just waited a bit too long. They didn't really create these chances. They didn't make the big plays in the previous game. I think that 0 second window might have given them hope, though. The fact that they were able to make plays when they're not even allowed to let the ball bounce, even though they then ended up losing the game, it probably gave them some confidence going into this next game here. They still got that playmaking ability.
Oh, over to Sizen. Oh, what a shot! Well, you don't hit them better than that.
Perfect placement by Sizen. Radosin with the pre-flip to center the ball. Sizen there. No chance for Vatira on the goal line. Perfect pass. Radosin making it as easy as possible for his teammate there. One more for Williams Resolve would give them 3 match points. We thought, this is already a great result for this team. Top 6, well done. Great weekend, but they're aiming higher. Top 3 if they can make it past
shot half. Yeah, this is a team that. Oh, wait a minute, that's snuck in. And Williams Resolve, after how good their defense has been, that's one that you don't want to see.
It's a very nice recovery by Rise, and he does hit the long distance shot very well, but like you said, that should be a shot that's covered. That should be a third man's ball to collect in the back corner without any issues. And in this case, it wasn't. Rise alone in defense, doesn't get the save. Radosin able to cheat on the kickoff and beat him 1v1. Credit to Rise for at least being there to try to save the shot. Too many times today we've seen these goals go straight into open nets, but the placement from Radosin was too good. Clinical with the finish, fast play as well. Didn't give Rise any time to position.
This might open up the series a little bit more as well for Team Queso. That'd be a good thing. You haven't really had a dance partner to fight in the midfield for the most part, so Ace probably not up to a position where they'd be happy with it. Doyle clears down the far side. No players Waiting for that one as he comes back in. Can he read this ball? Oh, almost found its way in. Rise incredibly close to the play. Couldn't scoop the ball back up. Actually, that's drifting. And Radosin back in time. Not wanting to see the rebound go to a blue car.
It's a very sneaky shot there. Team Queso always surprising their opponents. At the post, able to keep Williams Resolve in a tie game. It's great speed by Sizen. Joyo was no slouch to that ball. Sizen able to deflect it into the corner. That's what the game plan's been for Williams Resolve. Just keep the ball in the defensive corner. They're quite happy to defend while Queso are in that position. So when it's out in the middle like this is when Queso can be so dangerous. Rise with the threat of a bump creates a real chance for his team. Joyo's late with the mind game and the finish. And as booster dwindled for Sizen in that play, he just did not know what to do.
Such better commitment though from Queso. Not allowing the ball to be taken under control by Williams Resolve and played back into the midfield. Instead, just pinning them back and eventually getting themselves into a spot where they could do nothing but score. Brilliant response. Now, can Williams Resolve respond yet again? They've gone down 3 times. Will they get back into it 3 times? Prime. Just allowing Radosin to take back over. Well played over the top. Sizen's there! That would have been one of the best goals we've seen in quite some time.
Well, he used up a whole lot earlier than that last touch from his teammate. Almost getting a screamer on target. Rise accidentally backflipping. It might work favorably. Vatira able to get a shot on target because of that. Maybe actually an intentional backflip there by Rise. He was looking for the infield pass. Vatira just had a clear shot. The Prime, 1v1. Vatira's clear is not good enough. And another equalizer coming out of Williams Resolve.
Look at how good this is from Prime. The reason why Vatira's clear is not good enough is because he just had to stop. There's no way to generate any power from that position. And it drops straight over. One of those times where you just hit the ball and hope that your teammate is there before anybody else. And that was not the case. Maybe another kickoff opportunity as well. Radosin can't quite get it beyond Rise. But for a strategic affair that we had in our first 3 games, Johnny, this has been a lot more back and forth.
Yeah, Williams Resolve continued to be clinical. Here they come again. Double tap attempted. Radosin just misses. He was halfway between a shot and a double tap there. And ended up not being able to do either. But this is brilliant from Williams Resolve. Really putting the pressure on Team Queso, who have looked shaky in defense compared to their opponents today. Those bumps off the ball are now being utilized by Queso. We saw it on the previous kickoff that really helped out the last man. Joyo on the sidewall, infield to Vatira, who shoots wide. That is the kind of play that just has to go on target. Team Queso missing when it matters most here. Getting into the final minute now. They already trail in this series, and now Radosin with an extra touch. This is in real trouble. Radosin all the way himself. He just didn't have the boost to get there.
Would have been desperate for that ball just to drop down quicker. He can't get to the ball. It needed the ball to come to him, and it just would not do what he needed it to do. 3 each. It's time for that pressure cooker to start heading up a little bit. Both of these teams in a position that neither of them probably expected to be in. This is big, especially for Williams Resolve. Put themselves onto that match point. Rise. No one in the midfield, so instead just tries to test the goalkeeper. There's some of the chase down. Where's his support? Prime is over there. Couldn't get it over to him, though, but Sizen drops it over to himself. Everybody's sitting so deep at the moment. It's gone to Prime. Oh, double commit from the challenge. And Joyo couldn't get bumped because Prime was backwards to him. The last big opportunity went to Williams Resolve. Overtime, and a big one at that.
Yes, his quality of shots is deteriorated for Team Queso. Quality of their ball striking as well has led to some poor defensive clears, but still just 1 goal away from tying the series and putting us into a final 2 or 3. Williams Resolve showing up with tons of offensive pressure in game 4 compared to what they've shown us earlier in the series.
Joyo, he's got Rise. He's also got Vatira. Both of the players were ready for him. He's unable, though, to find a way to get the ball over. Sizen Stealing not quite agreeing with him. Otherwise, that would have been a much more dangerous position for Team Queso's defense to find themselves in. Prime towards Joyo. Taking his time. Stealing some boost as well. Williams Resolve playing the long game with this. Waiting for their chance, as they have done. And despite this being a more back and forth affair in game number 4, now that we've hit overtime, that tension will be right back up, and Williams Resolve will probably go right back to their usual play style.
It's a huge clear by Prime. The boost was just is almost 0 for their entire team there. Bought him some time and his teammates to stabilize. Queso right back into the final third now. And a double jump. The boost is just not there for Williams Resolve. They're just jumping in front of the ball, covering shooting angles. Oh, they've covered that one as well. Queso piling on the pressure. The post saves Williams Resolve again.
And really importantly, they got a demo on the far side. It gave them some breathing room. And Williams Resolve still under pressure. Rise looking for Prime. Couldn't get there. Radosa now takes it as far away from the blue card as he possibly can. Let the team recover. Still unable to get that much boost on the majority of your players. Sizen's the one that has all of it. Didn't find the demo. Just playing past. Sizen has to pick up boost and figure out how he's going to get this one away. Unable to do so. Prime pops the ball up. Sizen wins that. Radosin on the way. 2 players needed from Team Queso. And this is a position they have been caught in previously. They're more aware of it now.
Oh my, Vatira just landing resets for fun. It's like this guy's got a reset button on his controller. Neither one of them able to develop into a shot. Oh, Sizen's got the position here. Joyo centers beautifully. Vatira to the top corner. Team Queso tie the series.
One mistake is all it took, and Sizen made the mistake of being too confident. Move forward a little bit and no way to respond. Team Queso are giving us one heck of a series. 2 each.
Oh, you know, the defense was pretty shaky there. Some of the shots look more like passes to Williams Resolve goalkeepers, and the clears getting pounced on. Williams Resolve are all over the soft players coming out of Team Queso in this game. But it's that star power. They're still able to generate 4 goals, even though they're leaking goals at the other end of the field. Queso continue to pop off just enough, but now it comes down to who can play under that pressure, because this game 5 I think is going to be the decider, really. Williams Resolve will feel like they could have and should have probably won this with how many chances they got compared to the other games where they were just so efficient with their chances. And Queso, you know, this could be the turnaround for them. They're now finally back in this. But it's a best of 7. So although game 5, I think, is really going to dictate which team will be feeling good, we do need to see 2 wins here. And it's about consistency. So maybe Williams Resolve actually in a strong point here, because they have been, I think, the more consistent team. Queso have got higher highs, but definitely lower lows on show.
Yeah, and for me, I just really want to keep an eye on Joyo in this one, because I think he started off that last game and set the tone for Queso. And the rest of the team sort of followed suit and got themselves into good positions for the rest of the game. But for Joyo, the more wacky his playstyle becomes, the better I think this team plays. And I want to see him going off the ceiling, finding those flip resets, doing things that don't make sense to the opposing team, and then allowing players like Rise and Vatira to make it up as they go along after that. But just set the table and see what the other 2 can do afterwards.
Oh my, what a read. Oh, almost from Vatira, but he doesn't actually have to go for this. Rise able to finish off the touch, but what a read on the corner there from Vatira to block that clear. And the fact that he's deflected the ball into the corner wall makes it impossible for the goalkeeper to beat Rise to it. And it's just a completely uncontested shot. Brilliant pass by Vatira to open up the scoring in game number 5.
Now Rise looking towards the backboard. New wrinkle that we've seen Queso add to this series has been that willingness to maintain pressure in the other side of the field. Previously, it was just a little bit of a poke at the defense. Oh no, you guys seem fine. All right, we'll start heading back. Instead, they're sticking around, doing exactly what you wanted, Johnny. Steal that boost, hit the goalkeeper, and just make life miserable for a team that wants to be in defense. Now that's a really awkward spot. See more players jumping on in. Rise not adding the 3rd man. And for Williams Resolve, For a team that struggled in our opening few games to get rid of the ball in meaningful ways, this new adaptation from Team Queso might make that more difficult than ever.
You know, it's why the demo meta evolved in the first place. It's because teams are getting so good at saving shots, even on low boost. Teams are getting so good at recovering after committing to a play and making another save, making another challenge, that you need to do more than just outplay players. You can't get by just doing that. You've got to take the boost. You've got to play for the bumps in the demos while you're rotating out. Oh, or just infield pass to Redosin so he can slam it on target. That's brilliant by Prime. Sends it into the middle with pace. And look at the angle Redosin's coming in from there. So hard to defend against.
Do Williams Resolve have the most consistent shooting that we've seen? Because they do not let a chance go to waste. I'm sort of taking the last game away from that a little bit. But for the little that we've seen, they create gold every single chance they get.
Great positioning again by Redosin. Not able to get any outplay there on Vatira, but it ball goes middle regardless. Sizen picking up that boost on the exit. It's now Team Queso who are in a bit of trouble, but what a flick. Vatira buying them so much time with that. That's enabled Rise to move forward. And what shot, slamming it in from the edge of the box. For the second time this game, Rise smacks it on target.
And that's all down to Redosin, in my opinion. He didn't air roll into the ball, so it just meant that his car popped off it once he made contact. He needed to just get the first hit, bring the ball with him to the backboard and play it from there. And instead, because he had no control, it meant that the other team could take over. Redosin gonna look to try and make up for that right now, but instead he's got Vatira right over at him. And that could have gone anywhere. Thankfully, it was away from the net.
It's a really good call there. I think Rise just pretended to go for this. Joyo is ready to follow up. Now Vatira actually missing his touch in the back corner. But he recovers fast enough to get another one. Sizen deciding to try and double pass Joyo, who easily reads his own back wall. You're not sure that's going to work against Queso. These guys are pretty good at reading those bounces. Vatira has been unleashed in this game 5 though, Shogun. He is a menace in the final third. He's intercepting clears, he's offloading to his teammates, he's getting consistent outplays. And I think it's Joyo just taking a bit more of a back foot here, letting Vatira go forward more often, because he really wasn't getting consistent touches in the last game with his shooting.
Well, I had a look earlier on, about midway through the last game, and Vatira was on 68 points. He ended the last game above Joyo in points. So just goes to show that he is seemingly easing his way into this one. Rise over of support for Vatira. Now going to be called in, but Sizen's just winning every challenge. Nobody can get past him. On the shoulder pads for this one, as Redosin off the backboard finds an awkward angle. Still trailing by 1 goal. Prime waited for his chance, didn't ever come over to him. But this is the first time in quite some time that we've seen Williams Resolve putting wave after wave of pressure on. Redosin will be the passing option from the far side. Not the best pass over to him, instead it's back over to Prime. He sets up off the backboard. First one there is Vatira. Gets rid of the pressure, 1 minute left.
Yeah, consecutively Rise and Vatira with key defensive touches, buying their team time. It was great boost management by Vatira as well during that defensive stand. Oh, now they've actually got another chance at this one. Double tap from Vatira with the reset as well. He doesn't get the first shot on target, but the post says, go on, give it another go. And he doesn't make any mistakes. 3-1, Vatira's having an absolute blinder of a game.
It's what you needed from him. And there is now starting to deliver when we get to the clutch parts of the series. Vatira might be the difference maker. Now Joyo underneath. He's going to have Vatira up against Prime. 2v1, not the best angle to start it from. As Razai's sees the oncoming challenge. Oh, big demo shot. No power, and Joyo will be happy to see that one drop right in front of the nose of his car. Now back to the midfield. And no real pressure going to be caused from that position. Joyo, oh, off the infield pass.
Oh!
Everybody was stood around. 3 cars, all orange, waiting to see where that one would go, but it was not in.
Yeah, the pass was perfect, shot not so much. It was straight to the goalkeeper. Vatira does well to save it in a safe direction, but more needs to be done there from Williams Resolve. They're not going to have any chance now to come back. Vatira wasting the remaining time, and Rise finishes off his hat trick with no time left on the clock. That is a huge game from Team Queso. They've popped off at various moments throughout this series, and at others they've played pretty inconsistently in defense, but this is the first game where we really saw, I think, great defending by Team Queso. Joyo playing a very, very calm role in this one, just letting Vatira run riot up front, taking a bit more of a defensive stance, and it really worked out well for Team Queso because Vatira by himself really able to cause problems. Rise coming in for the finishing touches, and Joyo, I like that he's sitting back a bit more now, because when he was moving forward in Game 4, the final touches were not really coming, they weren't really working out for him, and that's just today. I'm sure other days he's going to be just fine, maybe even later. But that's smart to make that adjustment. Williams Resolve trying to make some of their own now as they've called the timeout here. They're going to need to come up with something special to beat that Game 5 Team Queso.
Yeah, I'm not going to recommend the end point get up and, start swinging your arms about. From the looks of it, probably would break something from how close and how narrow some of those rooms seem to be. Williams Resolve, I think it's all down now to just that middle point. We know they're good defensively. We know that their shooting can be very solid. It's just getting themselves into these positions more often. The only bad side to that is if they do start opening up their gameplay, that's fantastic for Team Queso. I think Queso would enjoy if the pace of this series started to up a little bit, because the overall speed has not been breakneck. It has been mostly up to how quickly can Team Queso get the play up and running. So for Williams Resolve, they're in a bit of a conundrum here, and they do need a strong voice to tell them how to go about and navigate a Team Queso that is starting to get into their own groove.
Yeah, and it's going to be really interesting to keep an eye on Joyo in Game 6. Is he going to hang back a bit more? I think it's a really instructive thing to do. If you feel like your shooting just isn't as powerful, isn't as accurate, your ball touches are not really connecting in offense, just play a bit more defense. Just sit back, let your teammates give it a go, because in defense it's all about control right now, especially in a matchup like this. It's about trying to keep the ball. Obviously in offense, every time you shoot, every time you pass, you're taking a risk. It could lead to an interception. It could lead to a save. So if your ball striking is not on point, offense is very hard to play. Defense, though, well, as long as you're just controlling the ball and making time for your teammates to come in and help you, that's a much easier thing to get right. And I love it from Joyo, helping Rise out at the back and letting Vatira do all of the break-in rotations. We see Mark by 8 do this for BDS regularly, and many other disruptor type of players from other top teams as well. Let's see what Williams Resolve have come up with. I think you've correctly called it a conundrum. But
to me, it's like I know what the answer is to make them play better, but I just feel like it makes Queso play better if they do it.
Yeah, they love a riot with mechanics on field. They would love to just go head-to-head in a mechanical battle. It's going to be tough to do it with a final win. This is where reality really starts to kick in. They're thinking, wait a minute, guys, we might actually be a top 3 team this event. Just one more win. You can't think like that. You just have to play the game in front of you, not think about the event as a whole. It's hard to do that when the excitement really gets to this point. So far, so good for Queso. Calm play from Vatira, not giving the 50-50 to his opponent, stealing the boost away. This is really going to put an awkward position on Williams Resolve. Sizen's not done badly with that, though. He's still going. Rise able to shrug off the 50-50 and come away with possession, but for a moment there, Sizen, I mean, he can something out of nothing.
He's going to have an opportunity again very soon as Prime trying to find a way of getting the ball over to him. Going to take on another challenge. This has become a full-on challenge game over here on Neo Tokyo. No attempt at an outplay just yet. Vatira now with his first chance. Oh, for once, not getting the flip reset. Somebody chalked that up as the first one in about 20 attempts where he's been able to do so. Now Joy of his own chance. Oh, what a touch that is to Vatira! Oh! He needed to turn that in.
Oh, you're not wrong. That pass deserved to be scored. That was unreal from Joyo with the ceiling reset and then the offload instead of shooting on target like the defender expected. Vatira, in his rush to get to the ball first, sent the shot too high on target to score and a bit too far away to double tap.
You can see a calamity happening over in the midfield. Sizen seems to have come out the best of it. Ball and boost. It's over to Prime. One of the big factors that Williams will have going their way, though, is how much pressure will now be on both of these teams. And they play a very frustrating playstyle where if anything starts going right for Williams, it can start to snowball very quickly. And we might see Team Queso make more mistakes. But you've got to get that first step. You've got to start adding that doubt to Team Queso's minds. Here's Sizen right into 2 players. And just that usual power not there anymore from Williams Resolve. Left for Sizen. Off the backboard, going to need help. Doesn't quite get it, and Rise with the clear.
Yeah, that clinical shooting is deteriorating. It was present earlier on from Williams Resolve. Now, a couple of infield passes just not being struck properly. Easy saves for players of Team Queso's caliber. Team Queso are just waiting for their moment to strike, and there is not really a counter-attack, more of a little bit of time being bought for their squad to buy boost, as they were running a little bit low after defending for a while. Unless another wicked infield pass comes into the in for Atlanta. Sorry, I'm thinking of their old org. In for Williams Resolve. I don't really see how they're going to get outplays on Team Queso, who are managing their boost really well, and they're just so fast. No hesitation when they decide to commit defensively. There's a good chance, though, for Sizen to make something happen. Using the ceiling to try and get it done, but Vatira just rolls with the punch. Still has control. Almost goes past all 3.
You make a great point about the boost control as well from Team Queso, because in the early games, those 2v1s were going against them every single time. They'd put a couple of players forward, then realize, all right, we don't have the boost, we don't have the recovery, and we've currently left Rise in a very unenviable position. You can already see nothing like that has happened for quite some time. Good second touch. Might actually start to open up the field. Sizen just dipping everywhere and almost managed to put the ball underneath Vatira. Did cover the shooting angle. 40 seconds left here. Goes out, Sizen. Off the challenge from Joyo, who does win it. Rise actually might have an opportunity here. Very low boost on a lot of orange cars. Starting to crowd around. So 0-0. Maybe Prime with an opportunity.
That was a very sneaky back pass there to add some power to the shot from distance. Williams Resolve not making the mistake they made on Utopia Coliseum. They're keeping that third man far enough to cover any potential goal, even a pinch on net. Will we have more 0-second shenanigans like we saw earlier from Team Queso? They're definitely going to go for it, but not a bad place for Williams Resolve to make something happen as well. As boost runs out, they are just going to go to overtime. 1 goal separates Team Queso from top 3. Can they make it happen?
But for Williams Resolve, it looks like that timeout did do something for them, though, because they have looked much more solid. Can they now translate that into a Champions Field matchup? That Game 7 would decide who is going to make a guaranteed top 3. Vatira gets past 2. Can he get the ball knocked down for a teammate? No, did not have the boost to get it before Prime. Shot underneath. That's going to go out. Vatira would like to have seen it come over quicker to him. And a big booming clear. Sizen doesn't have the boost to try and hit Joy, but he does steal some more. Now it's Williams Resolve's turn to try and set up off the backboard. First one to it. Sizen is beat by Rise.
Wilson going to get a reset here, uncontested. Shoots top corner. A save by Vatira.
What's a miss?
It's a really good save. But now at the other end, Vatira trying to make it happen for his team, as he has done so often in the past 2 games. You know, moments ago, it's crazy to see Vatira able to get outplays with no momentum. Now Rise trying to make one happen. Radosin covers the back wall well. It's pinched into the middle by Vatira. It's almost there for Team Queso, and again Rise shoots wide. It was going to be saved either way, but they are just so close to making that top 3.
Well, Radosin kept them in it. He was 1v3 for so long.
Oh!
Now it's the other side of the field. Vatira couldn't collect the ball. But if Williams Resolve go on to win this one, they will owe so much of it to the defensive fortune of Radosin just to hold off against 2 different plays. Sizen, huge. That's over up. He can set himself up, not challenged for a long time. Waits for it off the backboard. Radosin ends up being challenged. Rise straight over to Prime. Sizen does have infield options. It's taken off the backboard.
Oh,
First one there is Prime! Let's go to Champions Field!
Eventually, they're able to make it happen. Redosin pouncing on the near post ball. And he doesn't need to put it on target there. He just needs to beat the defenders to the punch. And they get a lucky deflection off Joyo as well. But I think it wouldn't have made a difference. It looked like the goal was coming at the end there for Williams Resolve. Either way, they were able to just keep the ball away from Team Queso at the end of that overtime for long enough to that boost advantage to pay off. Although Team Queso were hanging on, just trying to get a big 50-50, trying to get even a ball to the midfield so they can restock on boost. They were not able to do it, and unsurprisingly, Shogun, they called a timeout as we go into Game 7. Williams Resolve do not go down without a fight. That's one thing they've shown us throughout this RLCS season. Team Queso, despite looking like a world beater at times, despite rumors about their insane ability in practice, making it to an RLCS broadcast for the first time in this deep in an event, they are still up against it here, and that's going to put some doubt in their minds. They would not have liked how that game ended, just sitting in goal with 12 boost, 0 boost. That's not fun. And then getting scored on. And then again, no, there's not really any fun way to lose Game 6, but...
Especially not at this level, where of all teams that Team Queso would have liked to have seen in this particular matchup, Williams Resolve would very likely have been quite high on the list of everyone that we saw in this tournament. But both of these teams, I think they are exceptionally happy to see the other one. And this will be seen as an opportunity lost for either team. It's just a question now of how this is going to go down. Who's going to get this first goal? Because Williams Resolve didn't change much. I didn't see a monumental shift in their playstyle in that last game. It just seemed like the timeout was used as a reminder of what the win objectives are for that team. And now that they've got a hold of it, it starts to shift. I mentioned this going into the last one, that yes, Team Queso are in charge, but it just takes one goal and one game to change everything. But Game 7, this is the most pressure all of these players will feel in their entire career.
Yeah, there's just so much on the line here. Obviously, this event in itself, preferential seeding for the next one, auto qualification to the next one, perhaps for one of these teams, if they can go deep enough. There's so much to play for. And with the reset of points, well, not really a reset of points, but the Winter Major qualification counting only this event and the next two, there's just so much to play for two teams who are on the come up in Europe. Who's it going to be? Who is going to get a shot at one of the big dogs, BDS or Endpoint, later on in the event?
Well, ask yourself and the rest of the gang during the pre-show about whether or not we expect to see Williams Resolve make another top 6. They win this and get another top 6. They are in prime spot to head over to the Winter Major. We saw how difficult it was to string together good results during the last split. That one was not a position that they wanted to find themselves in. But as Williams Resolve have come to do throughout this entire series, they survive and they managed to get away.
Yeah, that was a bit of a mistake by Joyo. He autopiloted a bit close to the play, and a shot that would have gone uncontested actually ended up just bouncing away from him. Those opportunities are far too good to pass up on. He needs to just stay calm, wait for the ball to come to him. There he is, just waiting a bit further back on this play. Team Queso keep the pressure up. Now the boost running out of Joyo there. He had to just leave the attack, and Williams Resolve break free once again. They seem to always find a way to just either survive in defense or break out into the blue half. Joyo, again, nearly getting too far up the field, but the discipline just good enough at the moment for Team Queso. It needs to remain. Tira just completely dusts another opponent. Joyo commits with him, but the defender does well.
Yeah, Joyo and Sizen are both the players that we're looking towards for exactly what we just saw. They have had a little bit of a tendency of starting to push forward when not quite necessary. Now Redosin on the over to Sizen. Shot on target. Not really much more than that, though. Rice is actually still around. Prime did not expect to see him there. And why would you? You just turn around and instantly see. But again, Joy was very far up, and he's put his team in a spot above her.
Yeah, just awkward positioning there by Joyo. He's not moving. He's got no momentum. He's not got a lot of boost either, and he's a bit too close to the play, so he just has to make a touch and hope that it's good enough for his teammates to work with. But this is much better, though, as he keeps Radosin at bay. Oh, no way! Radosin! Lots of resets! Somehow keeps it alive! Fatira, with a goal line stand, has somehow denied Williams Resolve the opening goal.
Well, I'm impressed with the shot attempt. I'm even more impressed with the defense of it. What a play from both squads. You want to see which one is going to earn their spot in that upper bracket final. This is how you do it.
It's like I said, Radosin, how did he manage to get...
I was already looking for like his teammate. I thought he was out.
Crazy, crazy play. And a play that would have been worthy to put a team a goal ahead in Champions Field, but Vatira says no. Now, just over halftime. This one is completely up in the air. I mean, I honestly have no idea who is going to win this. It looked like Queso had found it in game 4 and 5, but Williams Resolve still in this, but not able to keep Rise at bay. Back post approach, gets a free shot on the ball, and the placement is good enough. Rise clutches it for his team.
Yeah, Rise needed to make sure that was in a good spot since it didn't have that much power on it. And just far enough away from the goalkeeper. 1-0 to Team Queso. Williams Resolve have to now try and fight from behind. Sizen, he's got Radosin up in support, but he's lost the challenge to Vatira. And instantly, Sizen's back around. He actually might be able to turn this one back in. Williams Resolve now need to put that pressure on and not get caught whilst doing so.
Vatira really stepping up. He's been the best player in the pitch in Game 7. And Team Queso, you know, is very, very close. They're just good enough right now to be winning this. But the mind games are starting to come through for Williams Resolve. That's not the first time that they've faked a high air dribble and now gone underneath. Rise denies the shot that was on target. There was someone on the backboard trying to get a bump for Williams Resolve as well. Time is running out and they are more of a counter-punching team this series. They're waiting for that opportunity. They can't really wait around right now, though. They've got to go and make it happen themselves.
Well, but Rise has given that opportunity to them. Double commit. That bounce is going to help out Team Queso, give them plenty of time to reset. Back over to Sizen. What a play! What a goal!
How has this bounced in? Joyo's off the goal line. Once more, he's just too far forward. If he waited in the net, he would have had an easy save here. But he's driven into no man's land. And we've been noticing this happen in Game 7. The pressure is just, it's brought the autopilot into action. And sometimes autopilot's not a good thing. In Rocket League, it rarely is a good thing. The defense crumbles for Team Queso at the worst possible time. And of course, Williams Resolve are there to punish.
Williams Resolve refined their shooting accuracy. Back over to Prime. And Rise needed to be there. Radosin's not going to have any passing options, so instead has to try and go by himself. Back to Prime in that midfield. Just puts that over the top of the blue cars. Vatira. Reset. Of course, it was a reset. Back to Rise. And somehow kept out. Valiant defending either side of the field. Now we get the infield to Radosin, who was too close to the play. And just sees the ball sky over the top of him.
Vatira really causing problems right now. Just get the ball to this guy in the final third. Here he is. Can he reach it? You bet he can. Can he deflect it into the middle? Of course. Is someone going to be there? It's another save for the French roster, who are actually in with a shot and making something happen in 0 seconds here. Into overtime we go. One goal will put one of these teams into the top 3.
Rise just tries to find some way out for this team. Team Queso have not been the squad that we have associated with struggling to escape. They have not done so either this time. Here's Vatira off the crossbar. And Prime was sat hoping that where he thought the crossbar was exactly where it needed to be, because it has kept that shot out. One of these teams are about to get the jump start of a lifetime towards their winter split. And it just takes one goal to get it.
And Joyo able to get involved in offense. Hasn't done a lot of that in this game. Vatira would love to have boost, but he doesn't have any to continue with another aerial play. Radosin has just enough to force a 50 with Joyo. Now that's 2 players committed, but the recoveries are there. Rise offloads to Vatira. Beats Size into it. He's got the double. Vatira clutches it for Team Queso. What a monstrous performance. One of these French players is not like the other, and he is the difference in Game 7.
What a series. Team Queso have got the dub, and they are moving on in the upper bracket. They're going to be waiting to see who they are playing. But for Williams Resolve, they are not out of this just yet. They will drop down to the lower bracket and await